Hi, Janna. How you going?
Hey, Jared. Good, thanks.
All right. Janna, could you please introduce yourself to all our watchers out there?
Yep, my name is Janna Mizens, and I'm the wheelchair basketball manager for Basketball New South Wales.
Beautiful. And what do you spend the majority of your time doing, mate?
Yeah, well, I'm in the high performance department with yourself, and so I'm the first time to have a wheelchair basketball allocated person in New South Wales. I look after the state performance program. So my role is, when I started a couple of years ago, is to start that program. So there's a lot of work that I did with promotion of what does an athlete that can play wheelchair basketball look like.
Mm-hmm.
And the state performance program, it's the underpinning for the national program, for those that go into the gliders and rollers, or spinners and devils, which is the under 23, 25s. So I look after that whole program, from designing it and then implementing it and promoting more wheelchair basketball in the performance space in Basketball New South Wales.
Awesome. And what does the typical pathway for a wheelchair athlete look like through these programs?
Yep. So knowing that this is our second year, we're wrapping up our ages for the state performance program go from 12 to under 23 for the men's side, and probably about 12, 13 to the 25 under 25s for the women's side. Now, our state team, the athletes that are in our program, then trial for our state team, and we have our national program with the under 18s. So the pathway would be, joining the program. This program is designed to lead 6 months leading into nationals to help with all the individual skill development and team skills. And with our tournament, it's hopefully the national coaching staff are able to identify our athletes, and then they can go in to get invited to a camp with the best athletes around the country, and then they kind of move forward. One of the first things for our program, though, because it is a pathway, all our athletes have to be classifiable. So just going through your classification. And that can look like our athletes, only on a team of 12, only about 3 or 4 are in a wheelchair every day, which a lot of times people don't know about that. So there's athletes out there in their community that can play wheelchair basketball that don't even know, and their life can be engaged back in sport.
And how many coaches do you currently have involved in your programs?
Yeah, so my program, it's pretty shallow. Prior to this position, I was on the national coach developer for Basketball Australia, and our depth chart for coaches is shallow. It's a great opportunity to play wheelchair basketball, teach basketball, but we're still building that coaching network. So in my program, for state performance program, we probably have about 10 coaches in our space. And then there's also during like kind of mid-year, term 2, term 3, we have wheelchair basketball as part of the Warsaw League. And so associations put in teams to that. We're on our 4th year now. And there's great opportunity there to coach local teams connected to associations. So, but again, a lot of times in this space, a lot of players might be player coaches. So there's a lot of opportunity for coaches to get involved to learn about wheelchair basketball. It's similar rules, but a few different ones that kind of bend your mind. But it makes it exciting, another layer of basketball. Yeah, different.
Awesome. And how can coaches get involved and get started?
Yeah, well, I think there's a link on our BNSW website to get more information. I'm very coming to our state performance, we have clusters. So our state performance programs, we have trials. We have a couple clusters, one down south, like Goulburn area, and a metro. Always welcome to have coaches come and have a look and ask questions. Another for Warsaw League is just get out to some of those games and kind of see, and then reach out to myself how we can plug you in. We have a great story. One of our he's assistant coach for this year. He went to the Warsaw finals last year at Hills Stadium and was like, what is this? Someone who's been accomplished as a running basketball coach, but kind of just got over it. But when he saw basketball, he was like, this is get exciting. So he called up, came out to a few of our sessions and going, I really enjoy this. And so his love for coaching basketball has been re-energized by just going to some of those Warsaw League games and going, wow, this is interesting. Tell me more. So,
Mm.
so either come out during the state performance. State performance is a lot about individual skills, team skills, but the Warsaw game, that's when you get to watch the games.
Yeah. And for all the coaches watching, it's as simple as emailing Janna at janna.mizens@bnsw.com.au, as well as myself, and then I could forward that information on to Janna. And when coaches get involved, Janna, where could this lead for them?
Well, there's definitely just fall in love with the game and learning and being involved in a very inclusive space, and with all different athletes that are absolutely amazing playing basketball with the different limitations they might physically have. So fall in love with basketball is what it will always lead you to. But in terms of what kind of further pathways, in terms of lateral or vertical, there's opportunity for state development, opportunities to be invited into national camps. I guess it's really just where you want to take it. And there's also just having success at your associations in terms of their Warsaw League. And it's also right now, yeah. So a lot of one of the big skills that I find from running game to wheelchair basketball that a coach is able to hone in or develop further is just that adaptability of running a drill. But how do I see this that make sure each athlete is able to be involved and be extended? And I think that that's a space in the wheelchair that we're always being challenged. And how can we brainstorm on that versus, because our athletes can be quite varied, and then their skill development from their different limitations. So it's a fun way to really, I guess I get my mind tickled a lot of times from a coach side about how do I make this better? What can I do better? Why do I adjust it here? So you're always like kind of on your toes, enjoying the environment of complexity that environment allows in wheelchair basketball. On top of, like, when you play the game, your subbing is always you have to be good at maths, or at least somebody on your coaching staff needs to be, because all the athletes get classified and they have a point to them. And so then when you have that on the court, you can only have a total number of points. So you can't just take one for one. You might have to take two out and put a different combos in. So it's those fun, different kind of differences of the game that makes it more exciting. So
Very cool. And the mathematics isn't that stressful.
You want to know your lineups, and you have your piece of paper, and and when something looks a bit different, that not familiar, you're like, I better not put that in, because you'll get you're all well prepared, like all coaches are.
And is there any last information or important things that you'd like the coaches out there to know?
I give it a shot. It's so interesting. I think even if you don't want to dive into wheelchair basketball, coming out to the games and looking at the game, some of the different strategies, as a coach, the more you go to other sports, the more you go, oh, that's how like AFL might teach defense. I can bring that into my game. So going to the wheelchair and understanding maybe some of the different angles and stuff that you can add to your current coaching space, even if you don't want to go yet full on into wheelchair. There's still lots to learn, and we're all ballers out there playing. So more than welcome to come out and check it out and maybe get more involved.
Amazing. Thanks for your time, Janna.
No, thank you. And look forward to seeing everyone on court. All right. Take care.